moment. The sound of where we live.
And all the music you love. BBC Radio Talk.
We'll move away from farming to children for a moment. They're all worry, aren't they? If you've got children, you just can't help but worry about them, however old they are. It's International Fraud Awareness Week, and there's a big emphasis this time round on protecting young, vulnerable people from what's known as money mules. I'd no idea either. It sounds like one of these snappy titles like County Lines that gets bandied around a lot. So let's dig into what's going on here. A money mule is someone where an organised criminal gang is using children to launder their money. So what's money laundering? Well, that's how criminals clean money they've got through crime by moving it around different bank accounts to confuse the police as to where it came from. Some schools are now delivering lessons about how to stop pupils from falling foul of this and getting involved. Victoria Thorley is Education for Life lead at Malbank High School in Nantwich. They're doing some of these lessons. Victoria, good morning.
Good morning.
When did you first learn of money mules? Because it's a new one on me.
So it's pretty new to me as well. It was probably only September this year when I was kind of looking for kind of what our priorities needed to be, looking at kind of what was big in the news, and I came across it, and I thought, well, if I'm only just learning about this now, and I'm definitely not a school child, we definitely need to be raising awareness with our children if kind of nationally it's showing that it is an issue.
How easy would it be for a young person to get involved in this then? Probably without even realising it.
I think that's the thing. They don't actually realise that what they're doing is wrong. They think they're being really helpful. So it can be kind of reached out to via social media, or there's been reports, not in this area, but of them approaching children outside youth clubs, and they think they're being really helpful. This person's asking me just to move some money around. They're going to buy me a phone if I do it, or they're going to give me some money, and I'm just being really helpful. And they don't realise that actually they're being then complicit in a crime. So it's very much about raising awareness so that they don't unwittingly sort of get themselves involved.
So they ask the child to put money into a bank account, do they? And then what? And then pay it back to them? Something like that?
Yeah, so it could be that they kind of say, we're going to put £1,000 into your bank account, and then we need you to then you'll then transfer £900 of it out, and you can keep that £100 to buy yourself something nice. Or they might say, transfer all of the money out, but as a thank you, here's some designer clothes, here's a brand new phone, something like that. And so the child, to them, all they're doing is putting some money into the bank account and taking it out. I think they don't necessarily always realise that the implications for what they're doing, because obviously they're not going, this is illegal money, we need you to help us clean. They're kind of giving them other reasons. My bank account's a bit weird and it won't accept transactions from this type of bank account. Can they send it to you and then you send it to me? And things like that. So the children don't always know that they're being manipulated. They don't always know that it's kind of a criminal gang. It could just be someone reaching out on Facebook, befriending them, and then talking, and then before they know it, they've got involved and they didn't even know.
Wow. The criminal mind works in mysterious and often, sadly, brilliant ways, doesn't it? You're going to offer someone £100 for doing next to nothing. Why would they say no if they don't realise they're doing anything wrong? Are there certain children who are at higher risk here? I guess there are.
So the research says that sort of children with special educational needs or disabilities are more likely to be at risk. I think because maybe they're not as well adapted to kind of spotting those clues that some of your more savvy children are going to go, well, no one's going to give me £100 for doing nothing. Something isn't right here. But I think children, just young people in general, are a huge at-risk group for this, because particularly to a child, if they say we're going to give you £100, that's so much money, and kind of if they don't know that what they're doing is wrong, they could really, really quickly fall into that trap.
It's a tricky one for parents, this, because we want to teach our children to be independent, and we also, I would hope, worry greatly about them getting into trouble and falling foul of this kind of thing. So we'll start with the children first. How are you going to teach them about this?
So we're going to be delivering some assemblies to the whole year groups. And then they're going to be doing some follow-up activities in their form groups. So they actually have a case study of a child so they can see kind of how it could happen, sort of showing them what warning signs to look for. We have got a letter as well, which is going to be going home to kind of help inform parents about this as well, so that they can have those follow-up conversations and say, oh, I've been reading about this that you've been doing in school. I've never heard of a money mule. What's that? And kind of hopefully continue those conversations so it's not just a one-off assembly. They've got the assembly, they've got some follow-up lessons, and then hopefully those conversations happening at home as well.
Well, that's pretty much the response I had when the team said we'd be talking about this. I've never heard of it. What is it? So it's good to know that information is going out, because parents need to know this stuff. What should we be looking out for as parents and grandparents?
So I think just if they're talking about kind of a new friend online, I think that should be a warning signal for sort of anything, but this could be something on there. Obviously, if they've suddenly coming into, they've got lots of money, they've got a new jacket that you don't remember buying them, or something like that, then that certainly is going to need to be investigated, because although we're only talking about money mules today, there's obviously, once you're within that criminal gang, there's then it can then really quickly escalate, can't it? And so it's just about spotting those warning signs, and I think kind of just being aware that it's a thing that happens. Because like I said, a few months ago, I didn't know, and I think kind of there's quite a few members of staff that here that when I've spoken to, it's very much a new thing, and so it's not something we've sort of taught our children to be aware of previously and to be aware of this problem. And so raising awareness, I think, really is kind of the key thing in preventing it becoming a huge, huge, huge issue. If we can just say, look, this is something you might encounter, don't do it, and these are the reasons why.
Well, we've all learned something in the last few months then, Victoria. Thanks very much for coming on and sharing what you're doing, and good luck with the children there at Malbank High School in Nantwich learning about this. Thanks for coming on, really appreciate that. I'll be I was going to say interrogating, that's too much. Questions will be asked in the George household, although I haven't seen them appear with anything significant financially or in terms of clothes or PlayStations or anything else. It's terrifying, isn't it? It's such an easy target to launder money in this way through children. Vile, but it is happening. Those are money mules. That's what it's about. It's being taught in Malbank High School in Nantwich, what the signs are, why to avoid it, how to avoid it, and so on. Just interesting to hear this stuff. Does make me feel old and a bit out of touch with the kids. I'm not down with the kids anymore, because there's these things, these phrases, these words that you kind of never heard of that are new. Trying to keep on top of it as best we can, aren't we?